this is just something I've been thinking about, and this is me not coming from it from a scientific point of view, but is it important for us to find those songs? Because I know we all have those songs, and we all do, where you hear that song and you go, oh, that's the one it takes me back to the time I was 12 years of age and, kissed my first girl at the disco, or that's the time I hear that song and it reminds me of my first job. I'm driving to work, and it takes you back to that era of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Is it important to use music? Can we use music to jog those memories and trigger positive emotions?
Yeah, absolutely. So music, some of the research around music actually shows it works so it can allow us to draw back into past memories. So that can be good and bad. So as a music therapist, if I'm working with someone from a trauma background, I have to be mindful of playing a song potentially that re-triggers them. Yes, we can absolutely, even when you're speaking, when you're saying things like going and driving in the car somewhere, I'm flashing back to songs and experiences that I value and I've valued for like 30 years. They still sit with me, these songs and these memories. So, but music can actually work in the past, it can work obviously in the present, and music can also work in an anticipation. So we can have these beautiful chemical releases anticipating what's going to happen, anticipating that we're going to listen to that song again.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an incredible tool. So that I guess that means that we can then create playlists or whatever that allow us to use music for particular things. So we might want to set up a playlist to chill us out just before going to bed. Certainly, to get us off screens before we go to bed. We might want something to just kind of wake us up in the morning, a bit of Earth, Wind and Fire, perhaps, to get us going in the morning. But I think the other thing that I'm fascinated by in this, and not necessarily research around this yet, I don't think people have spent money on research, is because we know music affects us physically, and we can talk about some of the research around that, but music has been studied with regard to cortisol. So cortisol is the stress hormone, and we know music can reduce the stress hormone. So it actually reduces cortisol and releases endorphins. So endorphins help us deal with pain and stress, and cortisol is reduced. So that's our stress hormone. So they kind of interact. What this means is, I think that we need to actually be really aware of the music that we're listening to, because some of the music may actually adrenalize us in a negative way. We might be hearing music to feel stressed or to get angry. And so that's actually going to make us feel worse. So I think we have to realize the power that music has.
Yeah. Look, I saw recently, I couldn't agree more on that word power. Look, because we're musicians, we have huge experience in different styles of music and different, even just the simple effect of playing a minor chord, the sadness that invokes, and playing a major chord. And the Beatles were amazing at having that sort of what they call the light and shade, where, when McCartney and Lennon wrote these songs, definitely Lennon had a leniency towards the sort of darker melodies and minor sort of chords, and McCartney had this sort of bright, happy, and so you had songs like, A Day in the Life, where I listen to that song and I go, you have this sort of, I heard the news today, oh boy, and it's so moody, and it's just like so, and the strings, and it's swelling up this emotion of like tension, and then it gets to the bit where it comes to McCartney, and it's just, I woke up, fell out of bed, I dragged the belt across my head. I'm like, how does that work? But it literally is such a powerful tool.